How do you make a boring shot exciting, fun, and fast-paced? That's what we set out to do in today's product video. So I'm going to be working with all of this you're seeing here. The product on display is Schweppes. Yes, Schweppes. And this particular flavor is the Virgin Mojito. They have quite a number of different flavors, but we're going to spotlight 3 different ones. So this is the first one. This is the pineapple with malt extract. This, and then we have the Chapman. So all 3 of them, we're going to be spotlighting them. And the partner in crime for this is Lazy Susan. This Lazy Susan has become actually lazy, like very lazy. So if you see this particular product, just avoid it. I have a slider here. These are my lenses. I'm going to be using the I'm not going to use all these lenses, but these are just a collection of lenses depending on the shots that I'm going to be getting. So there's an 85mm here. This is a 12 to 35mm. This is a zoom lens, but the performance is just like prime because it's really sharp. And then there are 2 prime lenses here. These are Makey lenses. This is 25mm and this is a 35mm. And I'm going to be working with the Lumix GH5S. This particular camera is a micro four third camera. That means it has a 2-time crop. And so all the lenses that I mentioned earlier, just times 2. So 85, 170, 35, 70, you get the gist. And I'm also going to be using the specs. That's what I'm going to use when I'm trying to control the light. I'm going to use it for some flags just to make sure that the light is not spilling to a direction that I don't want it. I'm going to be shooting against this black background, right? What other thing? Yes. And I'm also going to be using my ND filters. This ND filter is just picture like having dark shades in front of your lens. That's more like you trying to control the light that comes into the camera. It just gives you better control. So aside that, the other things I'm going to be using is my Godox SL60W with a soft box, and then I'm going to be using Suit Photo panel lights. This is an LED, so this is going to serve as my fill light while the Godox serves as my key light. That's pretty much it. My name is Jamie. Welcome to another episode of How We Made It. So the good thing about having the backdrop as black and the tabletop as black is you get to control spillage from the light even better. And so I'm going to have this board also support. This is also going to help me just do a little bit more of blocking out the light. I want the shoot to be dark and moody. I don't want so much light spilling to the background. This black, the good thing about black is that you don't have a lot of, it doesn't reflect the light back, and that is good. But I just want to even more control that light hitting that particular spot. The softbox here didn't come with a grid. Normally, if it had a grid on top of it, I would have been able to use that to further control it. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have this light come from top. So it's going to be top down. In order to control the spillage, because I want it to be dark, I want it to be moody, all right? So I'm going to have a black material here so that it can just reduce the spread of the light hitting the background. This would have been a lot easier if I had a spotlight or if I had a grid to put on top of it, this just to control the spread of the light. But I decided to use this. And then if I had another C-stand, I would have just used the pegs to flag over there. But since you don't have that, you always have to look for alternatives in order to get your stuff to work. So this now, I don't have so much light hitting the background there. The light is right here on the product, and that's what, so that is really what I'm trying to get. And so I have the panel light is going to serve as a fill light, just going to come from the side here. So we're going to just let it go down a little bit, at least towards the level, and I'm going to reduce the intensity because it's supposed to serve as a fill light. It's not supposed to be really light. It's just supposed to fill the side of the product so the product is not so dark. This is a 35mm MIC lens. It's a prime lens. It opens up to 1.7, allowing a lot of light to come in. But for product shoots, you don't really want to do that. You want to ensure that everything is in focus. And if you want a blurry background, then you're going to pull your product out so that there's a lot of separation from the background. So when shooting product videos, you have to really check out your camera position. You want to presently come closer, look at the screen of the camera. You can see that the product is halfway, right? And if I decide to tilt down to show the full product, this is not going to work. You don't want your camera tilting downwards because it just doesn't put the product in good light. If you've watched a lot of movies, you'd see that when someone is being shown and the camera at an eye angle, you're just really showing that that person is small. But because you want to show a product and you want to make it larger than life, so what you need to do is to get the tripod slightly lower than the product and then you tilt upwards. We're going to have all products at the same spot without shaking, so we record this and then we change to the next shot, making sure that it's around the same spot. And then we hit the camera and record this also. Then we move it to the third product, setting it at the same point. So we'll spray dust it, show that so it's recorded. We have all three in the same spot, and so in post we're just going to cut them into each other. That's another basic shots that we're going to make interesting. So I have the platform here and I've set the three products on top of that platform. So I'll place them in a strategic point such that when this platform is rotated, each product, the front that carries the name comes into focus, right? And it's very essential. It's very essential, especially when doing product shoots. So this is it. You can see that. And this is it. You can see that. So the concept here is to ensure that each product gets its own shine, comes into the spotlight. We've introduced a kind of movement into the shot this way because it is being rotated on this platform. Now, the next thing we're going to do to make it even more interesting is to introduce camera move. So when you have movement from both the subject and the camera, it just messes with the mind and it makes it even more interesting. So here's what we're going to do. So I'm going to just do a single action of pulling in and pulling out. So I'm just going to do this now. I'm going to rotate this and I'm going to pull in and pull out on the camera. So here we go. So basically, you see that right there? Yes. And voila, we have the blue background set up. Part of the reasons why we're going to shoot the product on the blue background is to be able to key out the blue background. I'm going to leave Dare, the creator, to do a lot of the talking around this because that is his forte. But I'm going to do focus on just capturing the images. So here we're going to have this. And this time around, we're going to use this very small, this is the cover of a perfume, right? So I'm going to set that down on the Lazy Susan, and you have to be careful to ensure that you're getting it at the center point of the Lazy Susan. So whatever the product is, if you want to have it go in circles, you want to set it down at the center of the Lazy Susan, right? And then I'm going to have this on top of that. The reason is that it makes it easier to be able to key out the background when this product is separated from the Lazy Susan, right? So let me show you what that looks like. Now the Lazy Susan is quite lazy. I'm going to have our peg assist us in keeping it spinning by putting a little weight on it. So there you go. It's spinning, and then we're recording on camera. So this we do for all three products in order for us to be able to do that effect. Now where we take it off this background, and then we can, bring in the visual effects and just make it really larger than life. And that is it. So this has gone 360 degrees. Do not forget, spray the can. Ensure that you have all of that going on. And so we've got 360 on top of that, and then we take the next shot, ensuring that it is right there at the same point. Yep. So there you have it. We have all three of them all come to the spotlight, and so I'm going to leave the rest to Dari, the creator. He's going to show us how this is done. Gamey, thank you so much for the elaborate breakdown. And now it's time for us to get to the next task, which is for us to create magic out of this footage right here. Remember, the theme of this video is on how to make a boring video exciting. We're going to be doing this in post-production using After Effects, and thankfully this footage is shot on a blue screen, which means we can key out the blue in After Effects using the Keylight effect. And also we're going to do a little bit of animation and also add some stock videos for the bubble splash and stuff, just to jazz it up a little bit, make it interesting. So without wasting much of our time or wait, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right, now without wasting much of our time, let's get to it. Let's go. All right, now here we are in After Effects, and we already have our footage on the timeline. And the first thing we're gonna do is to crop in on the can. Yeah, for this we'll be needing the pen tool. We'll be using the pen tool to crop this. So I'll click on the pen tool right there, and then I want to crop close to the can, but I could still leave some of the blue around the area right here. So I'll start cropping from right there at the top. But when I get to the bottom, let's zoom in. Yeah, I want to make sure that I crop out the Lazy Susan. I don't need the Lazy Susan. It's done enough for us, so I'll crop that out, some part of the blue area, because we're going to key it out eventually. So we're done with the basic cropping here. Now I want to keyframe our crop. So here we'll start setting keyframes, and then we'll keep going in on the crop. All right, this might take some time depending on how fast you are with cropping. And now that we're done cropping, next thing we want to do is to apply our effects. For the effects, we'll be using the Keylight effect, and we can get that from the effect panel. We'll apply this, and then the next thing we want to do is with our picker is to select the blue right there and take it out. Let's go to the view and change that to the source matte. Yeah, and here looking at the source matte, you can see that we have white and black contrast. Some of the black we can see on the white right here. We want to make sure that that is taken out, so we're going to clip the black. All right, so we'll increase the black right there, and you see that the black go darker or blacker. Yeah, it goes darker, and then we'll clip the white, and you can see the white areas get even whiter, and that's the idea of this. So here we should have a better result if we go back to view this.
So let's change that to intermediate. All right, that's our intermediate result, and now we want to take care of the edges. We'll come down to key cleaner, and then we'll check the box for the reduce cleaner, and then we can now adjust the strength of it, and this looks better. And finally, to take care of the blue tint we have at the edge of the can, both edges, we're gonna go to our spill suppressor. We'll just activate that by turning on the effect, and you can see immediately that is out of the way, and cropping is done. You can check it out from viewing it. So we'll go to view intermediate, and you can see that we're done with this. So yeah, and that's it. We're done cropping and keying out the blue background. Now we have full control to make all the necessary animation we will want to apply to our can. This looks good. And now it's time for us to go to the next task, which is for us to bring in the stock footages. We have the bubbles and splash and of water. So, all right, we have 2 water to play with, 2 footages to play with right here. So I'll bring the first one in, and then I'll change the blend mode for this. That's gonna be the first thing I'll do, change the blend mode to screen. So now we can see through, can see the water. Yes. And now we can now move around, make some adjustments, and position it better. And once we're satisfied with the position, we can cut that out, and then we reverse the footage. Yeah, so it basically seems as if it's revealing the can. And now the next thing we'll do is to bring in the second clip and put that right behind the can, and also we'll position it again. I notice a little bit of white here, so I need to fix that, increase the size of this, and yep, that white is out, and this is it. This is better. Looks good. And that is that for that. We're done. And now it's time for us to bring in the other 2 flavors of Schweppes into the scene, and we want that to pop out from the back of the from the back of the green can. All right, so in doing this, I'm not sure I'll be able to talk you through this, but I'll try as much as I can. In doing this, we'll just have to make some adjustments in rotation and set keyframes as we move along making this adjustment. So yeah. And also, as we're making this adjustment in rotation, we also make adjustments in positioning of the can, and also in the crop. All right, we'll be making other adjustments to this. So that's basically what we're doing here. We just want to animate that to pop out behind the green can. That's all we're trying to do. Let's stick that in, and that's it. We're good. So let's look at this. This looks good for me. More adjustments. And now we're done with the red can, and we'll do the same adjustment for the orange can. Move position and adjust rotation and set keyframes. That's basically all that we're doing here. All right, let's see our final result. I think we're good. We have a decent animation here, and check it out. And yeah, we did the same thing for the second animation we have here. Since we've already knocked out the blue background, we have total control. So it all depends on the ideas you have. So like you can see here,
And that's it, guys. We've come to the end of another amazing episode of How We Made It. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And if you did, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel. My name is Dari, the creator. I'm signing out with the results. Check it out.